Hello, and a good morning, good afternoon, and a very good evening to you, the good and wonderful people of the tube. I hope you're well today, hope you're feeling grand, and all is well in your world, and I hope you had a very, very, very Merry Christmas, everybody. I hope you've got some very marvellous things in your stockings from Santa. Mwah! That's like the evil Santa, the anti-Santa, if you will. Yes, he comes down the chimney and steals presents. He's basically the Grinch. Anyway, enough on that. Hope you had a great Christmas, everybody. Anyway, today's video, we're going to do a budget guitar shootout between the Aria Pro 2 here, the STG series, this one, and the Jet JS300 here. Both glorious, both stunning, both ridiculously cheap. I think the Aria is a little bit more expensive than the Jet, but I could be wrong. But they're both ridiculous guitars for the money. Absolutely ridiculous guitars. These are actually, along with my Chapman Pro X, these are actually my other two main gigging guitars. And I just love them both. The Aria does have a negative, which I will talk about later on. If you've seen the review on the Aria, you probably would know what that is. But compared to the Jet. But doesn't hinder it in too much way. I'll talk about that a bit more later on. Anyway, people tube, today, what we're going to do, we're going to start off with a clean tone. It'll just be the orange CL120 on its own. So it'll be the STG clean, and then the Jet clean. Then I'm going to stick on the Marshall Governor pedal to add distortion. And then, so it'll be distorted STG and then distorted Jet. So clean, clean, distortion, distortion. And that's your lot. So, as usual, PeopleTube, after the things, let me know which one you preferred and why. You know, was it the Aria or was it the Jet? I'm probably going to try and do all three pickups. So you get the bridge, middle, and neck. I'll try and incorporate the middle positions as well. I don't like position 2 and 4, to be honest with you, but I know a lot of people use them. So I'll go between all pickups, playing the same kind of like lick and here and there and everything. And so you can hear those in between positions as well. And as like usual, as I've just said, let me know which one you preferred and why in the comment section below. So, without further doodly-doos, let's go and do this shootout between this and this. Gorgeous guitars. Ridiculous, ridiculous guitars. So, let's go. Okay, YouTube, there you go. That's the sound clips. As I say, I've gone through every position. Let me know which one you preferred and why. Was it the Aria or was it the Jet? Okay, so for me, the Jet wins just because it's a little bit darker. To me, the Aria had a little bit more, well, not a lot more, but a bit more presence to its sound. It was a little bit brighter, a little bit more kind of jangle in it. The Jet was a lot darker sound. It's a little bit more kind of like a bit more MIDI, if you will. It had a bit more mids to it. The Aria was a lot brighter. But the middle pickup on this guitar, I prefer the middle pickup on the Aria to the middle pickup on the Jet. There's just something very awesome in the sound of that pickup. But other than that, there wasn't much in it between the neck and the bridge pickups for me. They both sound amazing. But for me, the Jet is just a little bit darker, a little bit more on the mid side, and I like that a bit more. But in all fairness, people tube, it's a win-win. You know, both these guitars are amazing, but if you were to put a gun to my head, please don't. And I had to pick between these two, I'd pick the Jet just because of it's a little bit darker. And again, as well, if you've been around this channel long enough, you'll know I do not like me treble, and I don't really like brightness. So for that reason, the Jet just wins. So another reason why I'd pick the Jet as well is if you saw the demo I did on the Aria. In that I spoke about the neck, and the neck on this guitar is its biggest drawback. If its neck was like the Jet, it wouldn't really matter, but because there's like a millimetre of wood extra each side on the E and the high E, it makes it a little bit more cumbersome to play. It doesn't really get in the way of how it plays, but it does make it a little bit more kind of cumbersome to play, whereas the Jet is a lot easier, having a very, very slim C-shape, well, not slim, but kind of more of a classic C-shaped neck to it. The Aria's got a bit more of a D shape to it. Round the back here, it kind of flattens out and goes a bit more of a D shape, and it's gone really dark outside because it's absolutely hammering it down with rain, people too, so I do apologise about lighting. Anyway, yeah, that's the main negative with the Aria, is this extra bit of wood on each side of the fretboard, which just makes it just a bit too chunky, and I can't really recommend this to beginners or people just getting into guitar. It's just not. It just makes it a bit kind of I don't know. It just makes it a bit kind of a bit of a I can't think of the word, but you know what I mean. It's kind of a bit frustrating because it's such an amazing guitar. The way it sounds, the way it feels, the trem is amazing. It stays in tune. It feels great. Sounds great. But that neck really lets this guitar down. So Aria, if you're listening, cut down the necks a bit, please. This is ridiculous. It's so wide. It's wider than a Gibson neck, and that's ridiculous. You know, because Gibson necks are wide, but this is actually wider. I measured them when I had Mike's Gibson Access. I measured it, and this is actually bigger, and that's a bit crazy. I don't really know why that is. Why they would do that. You know. Yeah, so and again, having a D-shaped neck is not the best thing in the world. Other than that, this thing, you can play it really well. It's very easy to play. But I would not recommend this to a beginner over the Jet. I would recommend the Jet to a beginner because of how good this neck feels in relation to this one. And it really is. When you play these two back to back, it really is night and day. Like, the Jet just absolutely beats the Aria on comfort, hands down. The Aria is still comfortable, but it's nothing on the Jet. The Jet neck is absolutely stunning. And also, the rolled edges on the Jet are perfect. It's got rolled, the neck is all rolled. And the Aria is rolled as well, but because it's a little bit wider, it doesn't really make much difference because the low E string and the high E string are so far in. I mean, you can kind of see, like, there's a lot of neck between low E and the edge of the neck. I mean, ideally it should be kind of further over, whereas if you look at the Jet, there isn't as much. So it's thundering, people of the tube. That's cool. I like that. Anyway, but yeah, either way, these guitars are amazing. There isn't that downside to the Aria. The neck is far too wide. I don't really know why they did that. That is definitely shooting themselves in the foot when you've got guitars like this in the same category. I don't really know why they did it. I really don't. So Aria, if you're watching, please cut down your necks a millimetre each side. It's a bit ridiculous to make them that wide. They don't need to be that wide. And also, I mean, the thing is as well, when you're on the high E, you can feel like this extra bit of fretboard under your fingers. When you press down like a fret, you can feel like there's loads of fret under your finger, like on hanging off the edge. It's really weird. That's heavy thunder. I like it. Anyway, people with a tube, let me know which one you preferred and why. That is the only negative between these two guitars. They're both amazing. They both sound amazing. This one's a little bit brighter than the Jet, but still sounds wicked. But this neck, I can't recommend that to beginners or people just kind of like, you know, starting out on guitar. That is definitely a Jet recommendation there. But these guitars are amazing. And if you can, please check both of these out. I know these aren't in America yet because I don't think they've got a stockist because they're kind of brand new. But hopefully in the future that'll be rectified and you can get these in the States and Canada and all those other places. They're not where they are now. That made no English whatsoever. Good at English, aren't you, Dave? Yeah. Anyway, David's stupidity aside. Yeah, I hope this video has been informative for what it is, people with a tube. I just kind of like, you know, I really wanted to just see the difference between the two, like, you know, which one I preferred, you know, and why did I prefer it. And it is definitely the Jet, just because it's a little bit darker and there's a bit more mid-range on it, and I like that more than the brighter sound of the Aria. So again, let me know, people tube, which one you preferred and why. So if you like the videos I do here as well, please consider becoming a patron at Patreon. It really helps me out. It really does no end. People who follow me on, who support me on Patreon, thank you so much indeed. I really, really, really appreciate it. It really helps no end. You have no idea how helpful you are. I really can't thank you enough. Link to my Patreon is in the description box below, people tube. Also, there's links to my Bandcamp where you can go and listen, and please consider buying some of the albums that are on there. I think there's like 16 on there at this point in time, including Dave Simpson Trio's debut album, which I'm beyond proud of. It just makes me, I don't know, it makes me very emotional thinking about that album, to be perfectly honest with you, people tube, because that album has been a long time coming, and we put so much into it. It really means a lot to me. It's so dark, I do apologise. And there's also a link in the description box as well to my Teespring where you can buy Dave merch. Anyway, that aside, thank you very much indeed for watching, people with tube. I will see you again on Wednesday for another A&Q Wednesday, and until then, have a great morning, afternoon, good evening, and goodbye now. Hope you enjoyed this vid. See you later.